Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Maria. I feel like I've not been posting much lately because I've been doing life, and that's totally fine. You don't need me around to keep the internet going. So that said, I'm really happy to be back. Thanks for all your comments. Even if I don't get to them right away, I am definitely reading them. It's just been a very distracting time of life for me. So I wanted to do a book review for you today of a book that I finished last week. I've actually filmed this video probably 4 or 5 times and just have not been happy with it all because I felt a lot of feelings about it. So it's At Home in the World by Tish Oxenreider. And this book made me break my book buying date thing. If you guys don't know, I'm only buying books 4 times a year, 4 different days, and I have it picked out ahead of time, and it's supposedly to help me save money. I broke my rule this month and bought this book for me, and I also bought it for my mom for Mother's Day, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I read it from the library. I was the first person on the library wait list for it. Tish Oxenreider, who wrote it, is the podcaster who does The Simple Show. She also has been a blogger in the past. I think I have followed her online presence as long as I've been a mom, so almost 9 years. She's about reading and traveling and being intentional, and all the things that I appreciate about life is Tish. So I was really excited when I heard that this book was coming out. Got on the wait list, like I said, right away. She and her family went on a year-long adventure around the world with their 3 small kids. And I wasn't sure what to expect out of the book because I've traveled quite a bit, so I wasn't sure how much I would really get out of that. I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what the world's like. I've traveled internationally with kids before and also domestically. And so I kind of knew some of those struggles. I've also listened to her podcast religiously. But this book blew me out of the water because she is such a descriptive writer. I felt like the aura of every place that she mentions, she covers. You felt like you were tasting the food and feeling the muggy sweat dripping off your body in the hot places. And she also has a lot of really interesting insights about what traveling with family means, why it's important. And she just really reaffirmed all the things that I already knew and felt and believed about family travel in this book. So I kind of wanted to tell you a little bit about the 3 feelings that I had throughout the whole book. The first one was I have to finish reading this and not stop because I want to know all the things. I did not want to put it down because her descriptions were so beautiful. And so it made me feel like I was going on a trip myself. So that was the first thing. The second thing was I wanted to write her a thank you note right away. And I did. And I told her I would give her a link to this review as well because thank you so much, Tish, for writing this. When we have taken our kids traveling or made that a priority, people are kind of like, you're so brave or you're so crazy or why would you do that? And especially when your kids are younger. When we took the kids to London and Ireland, they were 6, 4, and 10 months old. But because I scrapbook and because we talk about those things over and over again, they have memories from those trips. And I know that they will keep a lot of those. Also gives them the travel bug so early. And I feel like watching your kids experience, the ocean come up and hit them in the face, or when we were at the Giant's Causeways, just watching them bounce from rock to rock and what that looked like, seeing Big Ben and reading history books and feeling like they are a part of that and that the world is a small place, that was so meaningful for me. And to encourage people to go out and do that for themselves, despite what other people are saying, was just a great encouragement. It is not a how-to guide by any means. She is pretty clear on that. It's just her experience. There's enough how-to guides out there anyway. You can do it a lot of different ways. My husband and I will probably, maybe do a month at a time or a couple weeks at a time because of his work schedule. We actually made a chart on our 10-year wedding anniversary of how old each of our kids were going to be each year and what places we still wanted to go to with them, because we're very acutely aware that time is going fast and that if we're not intentional about it, that time is going to slip through. And they'll be 18 and we'll think, oh, we meant to go there and we just never got there. And we didn't want that to happen. So I'd encourage you, if you need to be a nerd about it and make a graph or a chart to figure it out and plan it out, that's okay. Some years we've had to flip things around. We actually got in an extra trip last year. So you never really know. So that was the second thing. The third thing is I wanted to write a thank you note to my parents right away. I started crying when I was thinking about it. And I bought this book for my mom as well, just because she and my dad gave me and my siblings the world, and thusly they've given their grandkids the world, because when we were younger and they didn't have money to travel internationally, we had a lot of international exchange students or foster kids stay with us. My mom's a Spanish teacher, and so she's always brought culture and art and traveling home. We got to see her go off and study for her master's in different places. Whenever she's traveled, she's brought things home for us. My dad's done the same thing. And then when we got old enough and they had a little bit more discretionary money, they sent us off if we wanted to. And I'm really probably the most travel bug out of my siblings. But when I was 14, my mom and dad sent me to go to Spain for the summer, and I got to see things all on my own. And this was before the internet and before you could call home a lot more frequently. I remember calling home, I think, twice during the summer. And so I always had kind of that, I knew not all parents did that. And so I really appreciated that they did. When I was 16, my mom took me to Italy to see the David for the first time. I guess it's the only time I've gotten to see him so far. But it's one of my favorite things in the whole world. And I love that she was willing to go do that for my 16th birthday. I have the best memories from that week. And ever since then, I've just always wanted to constantly go to a new place. I've been traveling a lot of different places since then. So anyway, this book made me thankful for my parents. It made me thankful for people like Tish, and it made me thankful for how I'm raising my children now. So I guess I just wanted to say, if you are nervous about traveling and you need to have a little travel bug inserted in your life, this is a great book to read. The descriptions were phenomenal. If you're considering traveling with kids, again, this is another good one to pick up, just to kind of give you the encouragement. It's not going to be perfect and beautiful, and she does a good job of explaining that. I remember planning trips and feeling like you imagine all the good things that's going to happen, but you forget exactly how exhausted everybody's going to be after the jet lag. I remember our middle child falling asleep in his Indian food before we hit the Airbnb in London. I remember him running into the glass doors at the National Gallery because I knew there were bathrooms that were available there to use, and he was just so tired he walked straight into the glass. I remember watching my kids play tag in the moat area at the Tower of London. I remember them jumping on the rocks at the Giant's Causeways in Ireland. I love that they talk about getting soccer socks from Spain, because that's where you get soccer socks from, because my mom gets them there. Those are the things that I think, especially in such a global world that we live in now, letting your children be more aware of what's out there is just going to be a benefit to them. So I would definitely pick this one up. And if you need some other examples of things to go with it, The Wish List is a fun book. This is actually probably one of the reasons my mom and I did a lot of things. Give Your Child the World, Raising Globally Minded Kids One Book at a Time by Jamie Martin. This is a great book list compilation of books from all over the world. And 1,000 Places to See Before You Die is also it's just fun to look through and make lists. Also, if you do travel, try and make photo books, especially with younger kids, because they go back, and whether they're false memories or not, they cement them into their memory logs. So that's one of the reasons I do scrapbooking, so my kids can remember everything we've done. So I would love to hear in the comments what you guys think about family travel or travel in general. Do you think it's important? What are your reservations, your questions? How did your parents handle the whole traveling thing? Have you read this book yet? I would love to know in the comments what you think. I will talk to you all later. Bye.